Epic Originals presents Nellie Nutgraf, the double best reporter in history, The Big Scoop. Written by Tom Engelberger. Illustrated by Gillian Reed. Performed by Ramon Diocampo. Chapter 4. "There's Amelia Earhart's plane," said George Washington Carver. "It looks like she's about to take off. You better hurry." "Thanks for the ride, George Washington Carver," shouted Nellie as she ran across the runway toward the airplane. Amelia Earhart was trying to get her poodle, Fifi, to jump into the plane. "Come on, Fifi. Good girl. Jump in. I'll give you a dog biscuit. Come on." Fifi didn't jump. "Excuse me," said Nellie. "Are you Amelia Earhart, the famous pilot?" "No, I'm Fifi the poodle," said Fifi. "That's Amelia up there, waving the dog biscuit." "Oh, okay, thanks," said Nellie. She yelled up at the pilot. "My name is Nellie, and I need to get to England. Are you Amelia Earhart?" "That's right," said Amelia Earhart. "And I'm about to become the first woman pilot to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. I was going to take Fifi, but if you really need a ride, you can have her seat." "Please do," said Fifi. "I hate flying in planes. When you stick your head out the window, you get bats stuck in your teeth." "Well, okay. Thanks," said Nellie. Fifi took off her goggles and handed them to Nellie. Nellie put them on and then climbed into the plane. "Where's the seatbelt?" she asked. "Seatbelts haven't been invented yet," said Amelia. Fifi waved goodbye, then went into the airport to buy some overpriced gum. The sky was cloudy. The plane was a-bumping and a-bouncing through the air, and Nellie, who had never flown in a plane before, was feeling pretty sick. But she was doing her best to write down everything that was happening. It looked like this. "What you writing about?" asked Amelia Earhart. "I want to write down everything about this historic flight for a front-page story in the big city big news." Said Amelia. "This isn't the historic flight yet." "What?" "Maybe I should have mentioned this before, but we have to fly to Newfoundland for fuel. Then we make the historic flight over the Atlantic." Nellie almost said, "This is an outrage," but she was too busy reaching for an air sickness bag. They landed in Newfoundland, got the fuel, put on their goggles, and took off again. But this time, Nellie did write everything down, because it was the historic flight over the Atlantic. Hey, how long does a historic flight over the Atlantic take? She asked. About 15 hours, said Amelia. Munching on a dog biscuit. Great! That'll give me time to take some photos of the scenery. Nellie opened the window and stuck out her camera. Click! Now, can I ask you some questions and take your photo, Amelia? I'm busy flying the plane. That's okay. I'll get an action shot. Click. Luckily, I already had my hat on, the pilot said. Famous flyer has feelings about fluffy formations. Clouds are amazing, said famed aviator Amelia Earhart as she made her historic flight across the Atlantic. Just look at that one. Whoa, it looks like a puppy. And that one looks like a puppy. And that one looks like a puppy. And that one looks like a puppy. When shown a photo of the clouds later, Fifi, a former puppy, said, "That last one looks more like Bobo the Dancing Unicorn to me." Chapter 5. 15 hours later, Amelia and Nellie were pretty darn sick of looking at clouds and chomping on dog biscuits. They were mighty happy when they spotted land up ahead. So, I'm going to be landing in Northern Ireland. Is that okay? Asked Amelia. But I've got to get to London, pleaded Nellie. No problem. We're flying over London right now, said Amelia. Just take this parachute and jump out. Okay, said Nellie, putting the parachute on her back. Thank you so much for the interview. It'll be a huge scoop and probably no time. If you don't jump now, you'll land right in the middle of John O'Groats. Land in John O'Groats what? Just jump! So Nellie jumped. As she plummeted toward the ground, Nellie realized that she had forgotten to ask a very important question. Have parachutes been invented yet? She yelled, but Amelia Earhart was already long gone. However, a passing bat said, "Of course, parachutes were invented a long time before airplanes." Really? Asked Nellie. Why? I have no idea, said the bat. Actually, said Leonardo da Vinci, who was also falling from the sky, I tried to design both a parachute and a flying machine. Did they work? Not very well, he yelled. That's why I'm falling from the sky. Well, do you at least know how they work? Maybe pull on that cord that says Pull! Nellie pulled on the cord that said pull. The parachute opened. Nellie began to drift gently to the ground. Leonardo da Vinci kept falling and splashed into the Thames River. "Don't worry about me," he shouted. "I also invented this thing that lets you breathe underwater." And he swam underwater all the way back to Italy. Chapter 6. "Phew!" said Nellie as she landed right in the middle of London Bridge. "I'll have to interview the actual inventor of the parachute, Louis Sébastien Lenormand, someday. But today, I've got to find Sherlock Holmes." "He doth not live anywhere," said William Shakespeare, a famous writer who was walking across the bridge. "It is a truth universally acknowledged that he is a fictional character," said Jane Austen, a famous writer who was walking across the bridge in the other direction. "That means he isn't real," said Mary Shelley, the famous writer who was being chased across the bridge by her own fictional character, Frankenstein's monster. "This is an outrage," yelled Nellie. "Can't anybody help me find Sherlock Holmes?" "I can," came a voice from way above her head. She looked up and saw a huge sea monster looming over her. "Who are you?" "I'm Nessie." "Hi, Nessie. I'm Nellie." "Hi, Nellie," said Nessie. "Nice name." "Thanks," said Nellie. "You have a nice name, too." "That's just a nickname," said Nessie. "My real name is the Loch Ness Monster. It's a real pain having thee as your first name, though, so I like it when people call me Nessie." "The Loch Ness Monster?" shouted Nellie. "Whoa and whoa! Can I take your photo and interview you for the Big City Big News? It'll be a huge scoop." "Sure," said Nessie. "Let me put on my hat." "Don't look for the Loch Ness Monster in Loch Ness. Scotland's most famous monster doesn't live in Scotland anymore. I grew up in Loch Ness, a lake way out in the country in Scotland," said Nessie, also known as the Loch Ness Monster. "It's nice, but there's not much to do except swim, and there's no Wi-Fi." She now enjoys traveling to the biggest cities around the world to visit famous landmarks such as Big Ben, the Statue of Liberty, and Maurice's Buffet Restaurant and Volcano Watching Lounge. Have you tried the hot wings at Maurice's? Ding dong, that is some spicy stuff, especially when you eat 37 dozen wings at a time, like I do. Wow, what a scoop, said Nellie. No wonder nobody can find you in Loch Ness. I didn't even know people were looking for me up there, said Nessie. Maybe I'll stop by and visit my mom. Wait, please don't go yet, said Nellie. You said you could help me find Sherlock Holmes. My friend can, said Nessie. Her name is the Queen. Extra, extra. Amelia Earhart didn't have a pet poodle named Fifi, but she did fly across the Atlantic, and she was the first woman to do it solo. She flew planes in the 1920s and 30s when airplane technology was still new and female pilots were incredibly rare. For more information on her, check out All About Amelia Earhart by Kristen Chella on Epic. Leonardo da Vinci was a revolutionary inventor and artist who lived in the 15th century. His inventions were often well ahead of their time. He sketched plans for a parachute 300 years before a functioning parachute was invented. If you want to try recreating something invented by Da Vinci, read Amazing Leonardo da Vinci Inventions You Can Build Yourself by Maxine Anderson on Epic. Will Nellie find Sherlock? Find out in Book 9, The Big Scoop. Available now.